Our dear nurses worldwide, it's Monday night once again, and it's time for AMN Academy, where you get free lessons for various English examinations and NCLEX. AMN Academy happens every Monday night at 9 p.m. And first and third Monday of the month, it's the turn of our Nursing Review Center partners to teach you all about the next generation NCLEX. But for the second and fourth Monday of the month, it's the turn of 9.09er English to talk about the English examinations that are needed for two reasons. Your number one, US visa screen, and number two, your license endorsement to work as a registered nurse in the United States of America. For tonight, we have a special guest, the IELTS British Council Philippines Exams Relationship Manager, Miss Jessica de la Cruz, for us to talk about two questions. Number one, why the IELTS? And number two, why the British Council? First, let's go back in time. At one point, only IELTS was the English examination allowed for our dear healthcare professionals to go to the United States of America. But 2 years ago, August of 2022, that was when CGFNS and other boards of nursing have decided to accept other English examinations. It's just that there were a lot of circumstances that happened in the last 2 years. Like number one, there are, let's say, some fickle-minded boards of nursing who frequently change their minds, announcing they're going to accept these exams and then announcing, okay, we're no longer accepting these exams. We go back to the old ones who are already accredited. And number two, it's also not surprising that there are certain nurses who would like to transfer from one state to another. So basically, this got out of hand. It got too complicated. That's why moving forward, the recommendation is to focus on the IELTS. But why the IELTS? Because apparently it's the only English examination accepted by literally all of the states in the United States of America. Which means to say, should you decide to change your mind, transfer from one state to another, apparently you do not have much of a choice because with your IELTS, you can use this for all destinations. If you're going to choose another English examination with limited recognition, you might be required to repeat your English test and take another examination. But if that happens, apparently it's going to be a lot of paperwork for the people for healthcare, AMN Healthcare International, assisting you to go to the United States of America. Now, while we are waiting for Miss Jessica, maybe there are some technical difficulties because this is her first time to use StreamYard. Let's see if Miss Jessica is ready. Sound check. Hi, Miss Jack. Are we wearing the same T-shirt?
Yes. Yes. Hi. Hi. I hope you can hear me now.
I can hear you clearly. Well, this is just what happens when it's the first time of our guests to use StreamYard, because more often than not, we usually use Zoom for our Facebook Live sessions. But for tonight, it's a new platform. And fortunately, Miss Jessica right here is a bit techie. That's why she was able to find her way. So before we start with our Facebook Live proper, let's ask Miss Jessica to greet our dear nurses worldwide.
Hi, our dear nurses. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you from every part of the world. And we are so happy to be a part of this webinar together with Niner and AMN. And so we know that you've worked really hard. This is already your chance to achieve your dreams, whether it's in the UK, Canada, US, etc. But this is your time to shine. Your dreams are already your arm's reach, and we are here to help you get that.
Thank you, Miss Jessica, for greeting our dear nurses. Now let's ask for the location of our nurses. Will you please use the comment section? Let us know where you are watching us from for tonight. We understand that it's 9 p.m. in the Philippines, it's late afternoon in the Middle East, and probably it's early morning in the Americas. So please let us know using the comment section where you are at right now. So, guys, this is an important time of the year. Why? Based on experience, what most nurses would do is to focus on their English examination after New Year. They basically forget about their English exams before Christmas because if it's Burr months, September, October, November, December, they're thinking of Christmas celebrations, holiday celebrations, but it must not be the case because in USA, the fiscal year does not start in January, but the fiscal year in USA starts in October, which means to say if it's early on in the fiscal year, you have to complete as many requirements as you can. And what are the two most important requirements? There's your NCLEX, which we always recommend that you take first. So as many as those who have already passed their NCLEX, will you please use the comment section, type me, ME, if you're an NCLEX passer already, so that we can share with you the good news for NCLEX passers and what you're supposed to do before New Year. However, if you have not taken the NCLEX yet, then we recommend you prioritize that one over your English examination. For the simple reason that NCLEX has no expiration, but for all the English examinations, the results are just valid for 2 years. So you have to be strategic when it comes to decision making for your English examination because you cannot take your English exam anytime. Your English test must depend on your NCLEX and the time of the year. Because if you take your NCLEX, or rather your English examination by the third quarter, that's the end of the fiscal year. So we do not have much hope of progress when it comes to visa processing. But because the first quarter of the fiscal year, October to December, is the most crucial, we have to maximize this time. So let's take a look at some of the comments. Atua Joycelyn is joining us all the way from Ghana. What time is it in Ghana right now? Is it early afternoon? Is it late afternoon? So that we can properly greet you. Okay. So while waiting for the others to respond and tell us their location, let's go back to Miss Jessica and let's answer the first question, and that's why IELTS. Miss Jessica, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone. I wanted to show you a very important presentation, but due to some technical difficulties, I had to transfer to my phone. So I'm gonna share to you verbatim why IELTS and why it's the best test for you healthcare professionals who want to work abroad. So first of all, I've heard Irvin say this many times. It is accepted in myriads of organizations worldwide. That includes the US, and in the US alone, it is accepted by more than 85% of the US states. So that means your opportunities are limitless, whether you want to go to work in New York or in Texas, whichever state you want, there is definitely an opportunity for you as long as you are an IELTS test result holder. So, having said that, number one, of course, the recognizing organizations that actually accept IELTS, and it's 12,500 organizations worldwide. Number two, in contrary to everyone's belief, IELTS is actually easy to prepare because there are a lot of free review materials, not only from British Council, but of course from 9.09er alone. So there are a lot of resources, a lot of videos, a lot of free guidelines, and even applications that you can actually use to prepare for your IELTS test. These are created to support you to help you get the band score you need. Number three, you have different options to take the test. You have paper-based exam or the IELTS on paper test. And then you have the computer-based exam, which is what we call IELTS on computer test. So it's your test, it's your choice. Number four, you can actually take it in various locations in the Philippines and also worldwide. So hi to all those watching right now, just like our participant a while ago from Ghana. Hello. You can take it in a lot of locations. So there are a lot of British Council offices in um, not only here in the Philippines but worldwide. In the Philippines alone, Shout out to our Filipino nurses based here in the Philippines. You can take the IELTS test in more than 25 test locations. For IELTS on computer, we have more than 20 test locations. In Manila alone, we have 5. And 9.09er being our longtime partner and is now our official test center in over 10 locations here in the Philippines for IELTS on computer. So we made it easy for you also. If you want to take IELTS on computer test or IELTS on paper test, all you need to do is to register via online. You can use your mobile phone or you can even talk to 9.09ers so they can assist you with the registrations. We provide the results within 48 hours. So that's 1 to 5 working days for IELTS on computer test. Actually, we don't reach 5 working days. Oftentimes, we reach about 48 hours from the time you take the test. For IELTS on paper, it still remains to be 13 calendar days after the test. And then um, there are no more than 2 sessions for the English test. So you only have two. That's the written test and then the speaking test. If you take the test via computer, you'll take all test components, listening, reading, writing, and speaking in just one day. And for the paper test, you might be able to have a schedule separate from your written test. However, the good thing is that when you register for the test, you'll be the one to choose your own schedule. So you don't need to already wait for us to let you know your final schedule. You'll know it by the time that you register for the test. It's easy to score because we actually have a foolproof best assessment method. We say foolproof because IELTS has been in the market for 35 years. Just like most millennials or Gen Z people would say, we are the OG in English test assessment. So that means we have a secured um, policy, especially on scoring. So we do again have what we call the best assessment method. And one of these is of course the speaking test, which we still maintain the live interview with a live examiner because it is still deemed to be the most effective way to gauge a person's English speaking skills. So that's one of the main reasons why we are very proud of our assessment methods. You can book your test anytime. So I've said earlier, you can do it via your mobile phone, your laptop, or you can even call 9.09er to assist you. And then we have free unlimited score reports. That's that's wow, right? So you can actually send it to various organizations worldwide. For IELTS on computer tests, we have what we call electronic test report form. So you can simply download your test report form from your mobile phone or from your laptop, and then you can already send it to your requiring institutions, to AMN or um, to other to AM and to for other countries like UK, US, etc. So you don't need to wait for us to actually receive your test report form. And then our test is of course simpler, easier, even faster because we are trusted by more than by 12,500 organizations worldwide. And that means we really want you to get the best score or the best score that you need. And so we prepared a lot of resources for you to make it easy for you to prepare like our IELTS ready premium material. And then we also partnered with 9.09er who actually provides you IELTS review classes, which I think you if you're not yet aware of, you can actually message Irvin about it. And then we do have what we call IELTS one skill retake. That means if you will take the test via computer and unfortunately you weren't able to get the band score that you need in one of the test components, you can actually retake that one component again. So that means a good opportunity for you to focus on band, on that component and hopefully get the band score you need. This is just an option. This is just an added service because at the end of the day, you and our institution, British Council, would like you to take the test only once. Okay, that's why we're giving you a lot of things, a lot of preparation materials so that you are much more confident in taking the test and hopefully get the band score that you need. And then last but not the least, of course, we have a lot of free webinars, a lot of free resources. We also have a lot of promos ongoing, and we actually have one for you. It's ongoing. Actually, we've extended it, and this is our early Christmas present to all of you hardworking nurses. We actually have a 10% off, or you can save up to 10% from the total test fee if you will take the IELTS on computer test in select locations on or before October 31 this year. So just like what Irving said, you really need, especially for those who have already taken their NCLEX test, you really need to prioritize taking the IELTS test now, not tomorrow, now. Just kidding. Because there is you are there might be changes in the announcement real soon, and so to make sure that you would be able to lodge your requirements before that big announcement, please, please take the IELTS test now and make sure that you avail of our promo. Again, that's a 10% savings from the total test fee if you will take the IELTS on computer test in locations such as Manila, that's Metro Manila, Cebu, Pampanga, and Davao on or before October 31. Okay?
Thank you so much, Miss Jessica. Now, if you are joining us just now, just to give you an idea, AMN Healthcare International, number one, sponsors the review for English examination, and number two, the exam fee itself. So, this is how the process works. First, you coordinate not with 9.09er, not with IELTS British Council Philippines, but please reach out to AMN Healthcare International, because if you qualify for the sponsorship, then you don't have to spend a single centavo for your English review and your English examination. And nothing to worry, guys. This is a seamless process because actually, some 2 years ago, the British Council Philippines, there's Miss Jessica and Sir Mike, met with me and the US executives of AMN Healthcare International. That's one event in Makati we'll never forget, when the three organizations were actually represented. So the president and CEO of AMN Kinetics and the president and CEO of AMN OGP, or O'Grady Payton, met with 9.09er English and the British Council Philippines for a smooth process. So we would rather that you don't approach 9.09er immediately, but you approach AMN Healthcare International and ask the $1 million question: how do I qualify for the sponsorship, the free review for English exams, and the free English examination? That's when you are endorsed by AMN Healthcare International to us, where 9.09er will take care of you by number one, offering daily live and interactive lectures, 9 a.m. to 12 noon in the morning, 1 to 4 p.m., 4 to 6 in the afternoon, 6 to 9 in the evening, and 9 to 12 midnight. Wow, that's 14 hours of live and interactive IELTS classes here of 9.09er English. Number two, if you live in a different time zone, nothing to worry, because we have already uploaded 120 hours of recorded lessons on our dashboard. And the best part, and that's number three, daily one-on-one coaching in speaking. Considering that speaking is the most important subtest if you're a nurse going to the United States. And during the one-on-one coaching, our instructors will tell you if you are ready to pass the examination, because that's when we will endorse you to the British Council for your actual examination. So, a lot of people are asking, okay, now we understand that IELTS is accepted by all of the states in America, including the compact states, and also the states that do not require an English examination for a license endorsement. But visa screening always requires an English test. So you hit two birds with one stone. If you take IELTS, you secure your visa and you secure your license endorsement. Now, let's move on to the British Council. Now that we know that IELTS academic is required, Miss Jessica, why the British Council?
All right, so there are a lot of reasons for you to actually choose the British Council over when you take the IELTS exam. So, number one, British Council is a known leader or global leader for English assessment. So, the British Council is a proud co owner of IELTS together with Cambridge. So, Cambridge creates the test, and the British Council delivers or administers the test, not only in the Philippines but also globally. So you would know that there are a lot of British Council offices in various countries, and most of them, if not all, are actually administering the IELTS tests. That's why, again, that's only one branch of what we do for English assessment. And aside from that, we do create our own English assessment tools that are being used by various organizations, private institutions worldwide. So that's one big reason why you would choose to take the test with the British Council. Number two, we believe that you can actually do it, that you can actually get the band score you need because um, what we want is real impact. And when we say real impact, that is your success. So it's our expertise, and that is your success. All in one. That's our main goal. And next one would be we provide a lot of free review materials because again, it's our expertise, English assessment. And so we want to make sure that you succeed by getting the band scores that you need. So these resources are free of use from our website. Our website addresses are britishcouncil.ph and then ieltsasia.org/ph. It's a plethora of free review material, free videos, free guidelines, etc. And we also have what we call IELTS Ready Premium, which is an exclusive review material to all IELTS test takers. So we made improvements, we upgraded our free review material, and our test takers will get to have more than 40 interactive materials that are tailor fit to what you need. So for example, when you start using it, the system will ask you which component you would like to work on, and once you've already chosen, you can expect that the IELTS Ready Premium review material will give you these kinds of interactive questions, exercises to make sure that you would be able to prepare for your chosen component. You would also have a chance to talk to an IELTS expert. You will get an answer within 24 hours from the time that you lodge your question. There are also a lot of webinars and master classes that are for free. These are live master classes, by the way, that you can join within the validity of your review material. The IELTS Ready Premium review material is valid 7 days after your exam. So you can still check on it even if you've already taken the test. And of course, we want you to progress or to improve while you are preparing for the test. And so there are progress checks that actually monitors your performance and comparing it uh, to to the performance of all the users. And you can do it using you can use it on your mobile phone, or you can use it on your laptop. There are also some offline review materials that you can download so that you can still review while you're on the go. So that's one. We also have a lot of webinars, free webinars on our Facebook page or on Zoom. All you need to do is to like our Facebook page, IELTS British Council Philippines, so you'll get updated with the schedule of our free webinars. And of course, we know how important it is for you to experience the actual exam. And so we have two mock tests available for you. These are for the IELTS on paper test and then the IELTS on computer test. So for the IELTS on paper test, we do have scheduled IELTS on paper trial tests from September till November. Again, you can check our Facebook page for the schedule. Last week we just finished one in Baguio City, and so we are still having it. We are bringing it in various locations, and two of them, if I'm not mistaken, will be in October and in November with Niner Manila and Niner Cavite. We also I also mentioned the IELTS on computer mock test, which you can conveniently do on your own. All you need to have is your laptop and a strong internet connection, and you can already take the listening, reading, and writing mock test on your computer. Otherwise, you can check with the 10 IELTS on computer venues of 9.09er with us. So you and then you can ask them about the schedule of their free mock test. So you can already experience the test in the test venue of your choice. And that is all for free. Because again, we want you to succeed. We want you to take the test only once. Alright? And then what we are very proud of is our customer services team, because we would be happy to work with you to answer your inquiries in a lot of channels: Facebook, live chat, email, phone call, or you can even visit our office. It's already open. That's every day from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. Every day
Thank
except Sunday. Sorry.
So, guys, Miss Jessie has just presented to us all the reasons why IELTS and why the British Council. So, before we proceed and ask more questions, let's take a look at the comments of some of our live viewers. So, our Miss Arlene David is watching us all the way from Kuwait. Good afternoon, Miss Arlene. Thank you so much for being so supportive through the years. And then we have another one from Ghana. Miss Rachel. So, hi, Miss Rachel. I hope I'm correct that it's good afternoon in Ghana right now. Cornelius is also from Africa, watching us all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Now, here's an important question from Ruba. Why not PTE? Why not OET? When in fact, in previous months, well, we've been discussing PTE and OET. So if you were not here during the first few minutes of our presentation, very important to note two factors why moving forward it's best to stick with IELTS. Why? Because number one, only IELTS is accepted in all states. And that's because there are certain states that are quite fickle minded. The Board of Nursing announces, okay, this is the exam that we accept. 6 months later, they say, okay, we changed our mind. We'll accept more examinations. The following year, they say, oh, you know what? We've made a wrong decision. So we go back to our initial policy. And then 6 months later, you know what? We want to be inclusive. We want to consider all of the exams. But this is confusing for the nurses because initially this is the examination they take. They are asked to take a different examination and they are reminded, oh my God, so initially the first exam that I took is already good enough. So why did you ask me to take another examination? Let me tell you, we've encountered that several times in the last 2 years. That's why AMN Healthcare International wants you to avoid repeating an examination or taking a different test just because the state that you're planning to go to cannot really make up its mind as to which English examination to accept or require. And number two, sometimes it's not the authorities that frequently change their minds. It's the applicants themselves. Right now, one applicant wants to go to one country or wants to go to one state. And then a few months later, they say, oh, you know what? I would rather not go to that state because I don't have a relative there. Just now, my relative replied that I can actually stay with him or her in this particular state. So I'd like to transfer to a different state. But the problem is that state does not recognize the English examination that you took. So this is actually a vicious cycle of AMN healthcare employees exerting more effort, spending more time for documentation. I mean, hours of preparation have been lost just because one nurse would like to transfer to a different state or a state changes its mind. For the record, we are not saying that PTE and OET are not accepted. That's not what we are saying. What we're saying is IELTS is the best choice. So whether you like it or not, it's only the IELTS examination that you can use in all of the states in the United States of America. And the last 30 minutes have been used to point out why the British Council is the best choice for you to take your IELTS examination. Now, we have more comments here. And another live viewer is from Uganda. So, hi, Cabs. Good afternoon to you. And Julie Ann Pareja, as the name suggests, is Filipino. And thank you for tagging your friend Malin to join us for tonight's Facebook Live session. Oh, by the way, if you cannot attend the live and interactive version of this one because you're a bit sleepy and then you have to wake up at 5 a.m. because you have to go to the hospital to work at 6 a.m., no worries, because the recorded version of this one will be made immediately available on the Facebook page of AMN Healthcare International after this Facebook Live session. And remember that AMN has 2 shows a week. Every Monday, AMN Academy, free lessons for NCLEX and English exams. And every Friday, don't forget the all-important upwards and onwards and upwards show, tackling everything that you need to know to work as a migrant nurse in the United States of America. But let's go back to Miss Jessica of the British Council. So earlier, she has mentioned that there's IELTS on paper, there's IELTS on computer. But the beauty of taking the IELTS is you are not required to get a specific grade for listening, reading, and writing. You're only required to get a speaking grade of 7 and overall band score of 6.5. So, Miss Jessica, let's talk about IELTS, the speaking subtest for IELTS. And why is this a better option for candidates and the stakeholders alike, that individuals are assessed not by a computer, or it's actually the candidates are being assessed by a live human being and interacting directly with the candidate. So, Ms. Jessica, tell us more about the IELTS, the speaking process of IELTS.
All right, thank you, Sir Irvin. That's a very good question. Based on a study conducted by Cambridge, it is still deemed proven that the most effective way to gauge a person's speaking ability is through live interview by a live human being. And this live interview is done by what we call an examiner. You are being gauged with your speaking ability through the one on one question and answer interview, which means the examiner would be able to gauge you based on the criteria that has been set to gauge your speaking ability. And usually, these criteria would include fluency, grammar and vocabulary, the way that you respond to the question, the cohesiveness of your answer, etc. And aside from that, you don't have to worry anymore if, let's say, you're too shy to be in a room with an examiner, etc., given that it's a live interview. Um, because we have what we call now a video call speaking, where you can actually talk to your examiner live on a screen via Zoom or via Teams. And so you don't have to worry about being in one room and with the examiner if you're too shy. But then one more advantage is that you are in one room while you are taking your speaking test. You are not mixed with other people, and you won't be bothered by the noise around you, because the speaking room is very much conducive to your live interview.
Great. Now, we've mentioned that there's IELTS on paper and IELTS on computer. It's just that I have noticed that 80% of 9.09er reviewees and passers actually took IELTS on computer. So after I read the comments, we'll ask Miss Jessica, what are the advantages of IELTS on computer? Why more candidates choose this over IELTS on paper? Meanwhile, thank you, Miss Julie. Thank you again for sharing this to Miss Neri. And thank you, Leah. Leah always joins our Facebook Live sessions and webinars. And thank you for staying up late to join us for tonight, Miss Leah. So let me just go back to the question earlier. What are the reasons why more candidates choose IELTS on computer?
First and foremost, you can take it here in the Philippines in more than 20 test locations, and that's and half of it is actually 9.09er test venues. If you are based here in Manila, you can take it in five locations: Taguig City, Manila City, Makati City, Mandaluyong City, that's in a mall, that's Podium, and Quezon City, and all other test locations or other key cities here in the Philippines. Number two, it's very flexible. That means there are more test sessions that you can choose from. In Manila alone, Makati, Manila City, and Taguig City, we conduct the test on a daily basis. And we do it 2 to 3 times in a day: morning, afternoon, or even evening session, knowing that you healthcare professionals, nurses, have very erratic schedule. So we are giving you the option to choose when you would like to take the test. Number three, faster results. So before we say it's 3 to 5 days after the test, but now we are very proud to say results are released within 1 to 2. We usually say 1 to 5 days after the test, but yes, it is possible that we release the results just within 48 hours from the time you take the test. And then the next reason would be your one more chance. If in case you won't be able to get the band score for your speaking test, for those who would like to go to the US, you can retake your speaking test, just that component, so that you can focus more on that component and hopefully get the band score that you need. And then we have what we call an IELTS on computer mock test, where you can try the IELTS on computer test on your own, or even at Niner premises, Niner venue. So you want you if you want to get a feel of how it is taking in your preferred test venue. So that's just what 5 6 reasons, but I can name about 100 if you want, and I would definitely consume all the time tonight if ever. But yes.
I'd like to add to what Miss Jessica has mentioned. If you're going to choose IELTS on paper, well, in Metro Manila, probably 2 or 3 times a month, but for IELTS on computer, every day,
Every day.
Monday to Sunday. In the provinces, sometimes for IELTS on paper, once a month. There are certain provinces every other month. There are certain provinces once every 3 months. But if it's IELTS on computer, rest assured there's always an examination every weekend. So if you're not allowed to do something on a Saturday because of religious beliefs, you can take the examination on Sunday and vice versa. Now, I would like to highlight the examination venues of 9.09er with the British Council. So in Metro Manila, we have Icampa España Manila, the main branch that's located near UST, near PRC Moraita, near FEU. And the second one, Makati branch near Makati Medical Center. And we are the king of the Southern Tagalog region because the three major provinces are covered by 9.09er and the British Council. There's Imus, Cavite, Calamba, Laguna, and Lipa, Batangas. And then up north, let's go to Region 1. There's a testing center in Dagupan, Pangasinan, and Vigan, Ilocos Sur. Region 2, we have a testing center in Tuguegarao, Cagayan Valley. And then Region 3, Cabanatuan and Nueva Ecija. In Region 5, we do not have a testing center, but the partner of the British Council is Ateneo de Naga in Camarines Sur. Let's go to Region 6, where 9.09er is the official testing center in Bacolod, Negros Occidental. For Region 7, there's CPOs in Cebu. For Region 8, there's ELA, English Language Academy in Tacloban. And in Mindanao, the British Council has IELTS on computer testing venues in Davao. Now, let's go back to Miss Jessica and let's ask more questions. In the event that candidates are going to look for free exam registration or free processing, and they might want to enjoy some promo codes, what are the advantages or what are the benefits should they decide to ask 9.09er to process their IELTS exam registration?
So at the moment, we have an ongoing promo for those who would love to take or who would want to take the IELTS on computer test in Metro Manila, Pampanga, Cebu, and Davao. And so that's a 10% savings. And if you will take it with a 9.0 venue, so among those that I've mentioned, Manila City and Makati City are the probable diner locations. There is actually more savings for you, right, Sir Irvin? There's more that you would get. Aside from, here you go. Number one, you get to have a free access to our study planner, which is a jumpstart review material for you. Number two, of course, IELTS Ready Premium Access. Number three, free webinar or workshop with our IELTS expert, Mr. Rosella Torrecampo, who is Irvin's favorite, who has more than 20 years of experience with the IELTS test. And then you get to have also free review material, one-on-one coaching with 9.09er, and that is very exclusive to those who will take the test, um, not only in their test centers, but if you will register with 9.09er. So you gotta grab this opportunity while you still have. I would just like to highlight, if you wish to take the test on or before October 31, you will definitely get that 10% off on your test fee. Plus the savings that 9.09er that Irving would definitely give you also.
And I just would like to highlight this one because when people go directly to the website of the British Council, they get to compare the Niner rate and the published rate of the British Council. And they are going to ask us, how come you're charging much less? So, full disclosure, I actually shoulder the discount. Now, you're going to say, are you some kind of a politician who's shouldering the discount? No, no, no. But remember what Ms. Jessica mentioned earlier. We are an official venue in 10 cities nationwide, which means to say we are also paid as an examination venue. That's why we get to offer you guys, ladies and gentlemen, a bigger discount should you choose to take the examination with our testing centers. So that's just number one. You enjoy a bigger discount if you don't go directly to the website of the British Council, but you course your registration through us. Number two, if you have eye strain, you don't have to spend minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes in front of the computer because Miss Zena, our IELTS registration officer, will do it for you. So that you don't have to be stressed out as to which details to provide, what's the answer to this question and that question. It's hassle free if you ask Diner to do it for you. And number three, starting September of this year, I'll be choosing one lucky winner who is going to get a full refund of the examination fee. So, this is something that you're not going to get should you choose a different testing center or should you choose to register directly on your own if you go to the website of the British Council. So, imagine the amount that you've paid for is going back to you if you are the lucky winner. And 9.09er English is always transparent. So this coming October 1, we'll be doing a Facebook Live session to announce the names of the lucky winners who are going to receive a full refund of their IELTS examination fee if they registered for the IELTS exam with 9.09er British Council testing centers. And I said September is just the beginning. So I intend to do this in the next few months. And let's see where it goes, especially now that it's the beginning of the fiscal year. So, historically, we are very optimistic in the beginning of the fiscal year, and that's Burr months because based on my experience in the last 18 years in this industry, there's always a movement forward, there's always a positive development, there's always a progress in the first 3 to 4 months of the fiscal year. That's why you have to join us this coming Friday for another Facebook Live session with AMN Healthcare International entitled Why You Must Pass Your English Examination by December. We always emphasize on the Burr months. So it's good to think about the holidays in December. But isn't it better if you also think about your future and think of the advantage or edge that you have over all the other nurses going to America if you pass your English test before New Year? So make sure to pass it by December. Now, looking at more comments that we have here, thank you, Sir Israel, for sharing this Facebook Live session to June Russell. And Sir Israel, right here, is a proud product of the British Council as he has taken our examination in the Makati facility. And then thank you, Gisela, for letting us know that you're watching us all the way from South Africa. Now, it's 9:45. Perhaps we are going to start wrapping up our discussion for tonight. So, Miss Jessica, if we have upcoming face-to-face events where we can invite our attendees from the Philippines, perhaps this is the best time to announce the schedule of upcoming face-to-face events with IELTS British Council Philippines.
Thank you, Sir Irvin. So we have been running what we call our IELTS mini fair roadshows. This is a mini version of our annual IELTS fairs where we bring our partners, including 9.09er, in various key cities in the Philippines where you can actually visit and talk to them and know more about IELTS. So we just wrapped up our first IELTS mini roadshow in General Santos last weekend, and that was very successful. We finished some legs in some provinces, and now we are very excited to do it in the Ilocos region. It has been postponed too many times, and one of because of the monsoon, and so we are doing our IELTS mini fair 2 weeks from now in October in Ilocos region. That's in Lawag and in Vigan. And please stay tuned because we are actually hoping. No, we're not hoping. We're doing more IELTS mini roadshows. I'm going to keep your excitement up because and think about which locations are upcoming very, very soon. I know Irvin is excited. We are much more excited. So we will announce it very soon. Stay tuned. Maybe after our um, Lawag leg, we would already announce it or even way before. But yes, we will continue our IELTS mini fairs and we have promos on site for on-site registration. During that day, 9.09er will also join us. Hopefully, AMN also so that we can get more nurses to work in the US. I would just like to also highlight that we are having a promo this for those who are taking the test this October. um, as what Irving said, invest that 13th month pay, that Christmas bonus to your future. You need to get that edge over other nurses. You have to make your move now, and you do it by completing all your requirements, including the IELTS test. And so, maximize the current promos that we have. Right?
Thank you so much, Miss Jessica, for wrapping up your part of the discussion. Now it's my turn to wrap up 9.09ers part of the discussion. In the Philippines, the major players know that 9.09er English can always deliver. That's why, since the British Council is planning to bring the mini IELTS fairs to other locations in the country, we are hoping to actually match the numbers of the previous mini legs. And that's because 9.09er is being supported by our staunch allies like AMN Healthcare International. Because, in fact, last year, during our grand anniversary extravaganza, that is our 16th last year, AMN Healthcare International was actually one of the major sponsors, and that was conducted in Dusit Hotel in Makati. This year, we are so fortunate that AMN gave us this platform to share our IELTS expertise twice a week. That's every second and fourth Monday of the month. So we are really hoping that our dear AMN Healthcare International family can also join us as we bring the mini IELTS fairs to several locations nationwide. And I'd like to share with you that if you're going to join the mini IELTS fair of the British Council, 9.09er is going to give you a chance to win either of the two. So not both, but either of the two, these are our IELTS books that are available on Shopee if you're from the Philippines and available on Amazon if you're from a different country. So this is a compilation of the writing model essays written by none other than Brian Martin Shawson, our lecturer who got 9.0 in all of the components of the IELTS. So he is not a myth. He is a human being. And the second one is our IELTS speaking book, a compilation of IELTS speaking questions with model responses. Originally, they cost 599 pesos on Shopee, but if you attend the IELTS mini fair, you get a chance of winning either of the two, of course, for free. And the second one, 9.09er, is the pioneer in AI powered writing correction. We have incorporated AI as part of our review program. Not the only part of our review program, but just a part because we have live lecturers and coaches who are going to evaluate you for your writing skills and the most important skill for you to work in the United States, speaking skill. But if you attend the IELTS mini fair of the British Council, you might be the lucky winner of 1 month free access to our AI powered writing correction. So if you're the winner, then you don't pay anything. But if you just want access to our AI powered writing correction, it's available for 750 pesos per month. And as I have mentioned, if you're going to join the IELTS Fair of the British Council, we're also giving away a free IELTS review, unlimited for life. But if it's going to happen at our testing center and we are the host, then I'll be more generous and offer a free IELTS examination if you register on that day. And of course, only with British Council 9.09er testing centers. And let us not forget our dear partners who have helped us in putting up these testing centers. Amazing allies and partners. Number one is iPass Processing, also a proud partner of AMN Healthcare International. Also, there's Roman and Associates. There's the Right Way Review Center in Vegan. And we also have RGM in Cabanatuan and the Baisan couple of Laguna and Cavite. So we are very glad to have them as our investors because they helped us in putting up these testing centers. And right now, we are working closely. Everyone in the community, there's AMN, there's Niner, there's British Council, IPAS, and our other partners working hand in hand, hoping that you're going to make it on your first and last attempt. Niner is not happy if you're going to stay with us for long because you don't pay us more if you stay longer, right? Niner is known for our Only for Life review package, which means to say it has lifetime validity. So, who is going to celebrate first if you pass the examination? Next to you, we celebrate because at the end of the day, you don't have to maximize the validity of your lifetime review package. AMN is also happy when you pass the examination because you are deployed to the United States of America sooner. And the British Council is always happy because remember what is the motto of the British Council? Your success, British Council's expertise. So thank you so much, Ms. Milanes, for our Facebook Live session for tonight. And sorry for the technical difficulties, but as they say, it must go on. The show must go on. So with or without the PowerPoint presentation, we were able to stretch it all the way to the end of our Facebook Live session. And guys, if you are watching, but you do not have an employer, you do not have an agency for the United States of America, you're on the right page because AMN Healthcare International is going to help you go to the United States with free NCLEX, free English examination review in the actual examination. So don't forget to message AMN. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you in our next Facebook Live session. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, everybody.